So Ryan Reynolds obviously has to be deported back to Canada. Once again, this is a way for the left and the right to come together, because no matter where you stand on the topic of mass deportations of illegals, we can now all agree that the moral crimes committed here by Ryan Reynolds against Justin Baldoni have amounted to high treason.
Robert Downey Jr. just surprised the entire Marvel fanbase by saying no to a cameo in Ryan Reynolds' highly anticipated Deadpool 3. While it's already big news that RDJ is making a comeback to the MCU after a 5-year absence, the bigger shock is why he walked away from Reynolds' offer in the first place. On the surface, it sounds like a simple scheduling clash or a hush-hush deal to appear elsewhere in the Marvel universe, but according to whispers around Hollywood, there's far more to this story than meets the eye. For those who haven't been following every twist and turn, Deadpool 3 is shaping up to be a massive crossover. Ryan Reynolds loves to pack his films with big-name cameos, and he pulled out all the stops this time.
Adults members, what celebrities would be the most fun to hang out with?
He's probably on the list just because he covers himself up in his movies and you don't see his face. Ryan Reynolds, is he one of those? And you want to know something? He's not so funny in real life.
Rumors claimed he approached everyone from the original X-Men to the Avengers themselves, aiming to deliver a cameo fest like no other. Naturally, Robert Downey Jr. was near the top of his wish list. Who wouldn't want to see Iron Man banter with Deadpool, even for a few minutes on screen? Yet, despite the huge potential, RDJ politely declined. At first, fans heard he was busy or even possibly set to play Doctor.
Robert Downey Jr., after a 5-year break, is returning to Marvel, but before he did that, he actually turned down Ryan Reynolds. Making the movie Deadpool and Wolverine, Hugh Jackman told Ryan Reynolds in 2021 he'd return as Wolverine after saying 4 years earlier he'd never come back doing the movie Logan.
Doom in another Marvel project, but soon people started asking if that was just part of the story. See, over the past year, strange information has emerged about Ryan Reynolds' behind-the-scenes behavior. While the actor's public persona radiates charm and humor, there are consistent allegations that he's not quite the amiable jokester he appears to be.
It was one of the most cameo-filled movies in history, where 45 different actors from both the MCU and the Fox universe returned for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Controversies came pouring out when Justin Baldoni filed a lawsuit claiming Reynolds and Blake Lively nearly derailed It Ends With Us, the film Baldoni was directing and producing. Then political commentator Candace Owens posted cryptic messages, hinting that Reynolds was the real problem on set, accusing him of meddling with scripts and pressuring his powerful agency to blacklist Baldoni.
One actor Ryan Reynolds asked to return for Deadpool and Wolverine was Robert Downey Jr., saying he wanted him to share a scene with Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau does actually have a very big scene in the movie Deadpool and Wolverine, but that scene was originally written with Robert Downey Jr. taking the main stage and Jon Favreau only being a small part of it.
Those rumors are still swirling, and they've opened a floodgate of news stories about Reynolds' controlling tendencies. One of the most unexpected voices to step forward was Martha Stewart, who admitted on camera that she doesn't find Ryan Reynolds half as funny in person as he is on screen. At first glance, it might sound like harmless commentary about his sense of humor, but a lot of people suspect she was sending a message.
With begging and pleading for the Deadpool movie to get made, and then within 24 hours we had a green light. We were making it.
Wow.
Yeah,
it was that quick.
It was that quick.
Nudging viewers to see that behind the wisecracks, there may be someone who's downright difficult or controlling. Martha's never been known to sugarcoat her opinions, and some believe she could be alluding to bigger issues. Then there's TJ Miller, who co-starred as Weasel in the first 2 Deadpool movies. He told a startling story on the Adam Carolla Show podcast, describing how Reynolds' attitude shifted drastically after the success of the first film.
It was so undeniable, and it felt really good.
But also, you must be quite pissed off that, you couldn't make that decision for yourselves.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. We tried, but the fans got it made, so this is great.
Miller said that one day on set, Reynolds made cutting remarks about him not being the star, making him feel belittled and disrespected in front of everyone. Miller pointed out that Reynolds seemed rattled by insecurity, suggesting that once the fame really skyrocketed, he used put-downs and power moves to keep people around him in check. Miller's decision to walk away from the possibility of returning for a 3rd film underscores that the friction ran deep.
That came along, and it was sort of like, play Deadpool in this movie or we'll get someone else to. And I just said, I'll do it, but it's the wrong version. It was, Deadpool wasn't correct in it, so.
Even Tim Miller, the original director of Deadpool, parted ways with the franchise after just 1 movie. His stance was that he and Ryan couldn't see eye to eye. Creative differences happen all the time in Hollywood, but Tim revealed that Ryan essentially wanted total control over the direction of the series. In Tim's words, It's not that disagreements themselves are a problem, he simply believed there were too many decisions to make on a blockbuster like Deadpool. And if you can't win any of them, it's a losing battle. Pair that with TJ Miller's account, and a pattern seems to emerge. Ryan Reynolds thrives on setting the tone for these projects, even if it means pushing out anyone who disagrees. Then we have the case of Morena Baccarin, who played Vanessa in the first Deadpool.
His mouth was sewn shut.
Yeah, he's got the merc with the mouth, and they sewed his mouth shut. Yeah, no, not it.
She was basically the heart of the film, yet in the sequel, her character was sidelined. While she tried to stay diplomatic when asked about her decreased role, rumors say Ryan Reynolds pushed for story changes that left her with minimal screen time. There are also claims he went as far as banning her from certain press tours, just like the claims Justin Baldoni made about being snubbed at the red carpet premiere for Deadpool and Wolverine. Whether these claims are fully accurate or partially exaggerated, the fact that they exist paints a troubling picture of the environment around Ryan.
Both of them,
Yes.
And also kind of acknowledge this like long legacy of wish fulfillment, which is, for me personally, part of that wish fulfillment is that
It's not just Ryan in the hot seat either. Blake Lively also faces accusations of orchestrating behind-the-scenes chaos. Anonymous sources say she strong-armed her way into controlling aspects of A Simple Favor, overshadowing co-star Anna Kendrick despite Anna being the more established star. Reportedly, the movie's latest sequel, Another Simple Favor, has promotional posters that oddly elevate Blake's name above Anna's, even though Anna appears first in the official billing. Some believe it's a subtle power move, revealing how Blake ensures she's never overshadowed in any collaboration. When a journalist asked Anna how she felt about reuniting with Blake, Anna's dodgy reaction told its own story. It didn't sound like the warm camaraderie people expect from co-leads. Instead, it felt forced, almost like Anna wanted to avoid the topic altogether.
at some point. But the signs are all there. I mean, it's all, Deadpool 1, the first line of the movie is me talking about him. The last, most emotional part of the film at the end is me taking my mask off.
That brings us back to Robert Downey Jr. He's a Hollywood veteran, having navigated everything from personal struggles to massive career comebacks. He's seen a fair share of controversies, witnessed countless power plays, and worked alongside icons who faced serious accusations surfaced throughout their careers. If anyone can spot a red flag in the industry, it might be him. Sure, the official excuse floating around is that he's busy prepping for an entirely different Marvel role, possibly Doctor Doom, or that the cameo timing just didn't align. But fans are noticing that as more dirt on Reynolds comes out, RDJ's decision seems less like a scheduling snafu and more like a calculated move to avoid stepping into a swirling storm.
WGA writer's strike, so we were in the middle of production, there was no writers, no anything. I mean, when I show every line I have in the movie, I just wrote myself because it's in the script that we had, it just said, Wade Wilson shows up, talks really fast.
None of this is to say that Ryan Reynolds is a full-blown supervillain. Many fans still love his comedic timing and the energy he brings to Deadpool. Yet, the allegations about controlling others, overshadowing co-stars, and pulling strings to sabotage careers can't be dismissed outright, especially when so many different voices, Candace Owens, TJ Miller, Tim Miller, Morena Baccarin, Anna Kendrick's awkwardness, and even Martha Stewart are hinting that something about him doesn't add up. In Hollywood, reputations can shift in the blink of an eye, and major stars often lose the benefit of the doubt once evidence starts piling up. What's most intriguing is the question of how this might impact Ryan's standing in the MCU. Deadpool has finally merged with the Marvel Cinematic Universe thanks to Disney's acquisition of Fox, and fans are hungry for crossovers between Deadpool and beloved Avengers. If Robert Downey Jr. is quietly distancing himself, could that spook other top-tier stars? Or will the fans' excitement for a wisecracking, foul-mouthed mercenary overshadow any drama behind the camera? The next few months might determine whether the public embraces Reynolds wholeheartedly or begins eyeing him with deeper skepticism. Hollywood rarely forgives and forgets easily when stories of sabotage or intimidation come to light. Justin Baldoni's lawsuit alone is full of bizarre claims, from controlling the script to humiliating the cast at a premiere. Most disturbing is the notion that Ryan might have threatened to blacklist Baldoni by leveraging a powerful agency relationship. That's the sort of move that, if proven true, can end a career in a flash. Not just Baldoni's, but possibly Ryan's as well, because studio heads don't like to see drama overshadow a production's bottom line. Still, it's worth noting that so far, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively have chosen not to address these allegations publicly. They might be hoping to ride out the storm, trusting that fans are more interested in Deadpool's wisecracks than in real-life controversies. But in an age when even iconic stars are asked to answer for alleged wrongdoing, it's a gamble to stay silent. Public opinion can turn on a dime, especially when well-respected figures such as Robert Downey Jr. appear to make quiet judgments of their own. It all boils down to this: RDJ's refusal could be a simple matter of scheduling, or it could be one of Hollywood's most subtle messages, an industry power play signaling that something about Ryan's empire of comedic self-awareness isn't quite so amusing. Maybe the story will fizzle out, and fans will never get a direct explanation from Downey or Reynolds. But between the rumors about Dr. Doom, the swirling controversies around Reynolds' behavior, and the uneasy accounts from people he's worked with, it's getting harder to believe this cameo rejection was merely a harmless "no thanks." As more celebrities hint at the controlling nature of Ryan and Blake, the question becomes who else might speak up, and whether it could escalate into a full-blown scandal. If TJ Miller, Morena Baccarin, Tim Miller, and Justin Baldoni have already aired grievances, is there anyone else waiting for the right moment to share their story? At some point, mounting allegations become impossible to sweep under the rug, and fans start demanding answers. In the end, the real intrigue isn't whether RDJ will come back as Iron Man or Dr. Doom, it's whether Ryan Reynolds' carefully curated image can survive the storm of suspicion. Where does this leave Marvel's most sarcastic anti-hero? For now, Deadpool 3 marches on, minus an RDJ cameo that could have broken the internet. But the conversation has shifted. People aren't just giddy about Deadpool's jokes and over-the-top action scenes. They're also wondering if the man behind the red mask might be more controlling, more ruthless, and more complicated than anyone thought. By stepping away, Robert Downey Jr. may have sounded a silent alarm, a warning that resonates. Well beyond the set of one movie, the future of Ryan Reynolds in the MCU could hinge on how he and Blake Lively handle the next wave of headlines, and whether or not they'll finally address the darker rumors overshadowing their friendly, polished image. Even if more fireworks are on the way, audiences can't help but remain curious. Will other A-listers back RDJ's decision? And will the controversy around Reynolds and Lively gather enough momentum to derail future projects? In a place like Hollywood, a rumor can transform into a career crisis overnight, especially when the alleged rumors involve secret manipulations, forced blacklisting, and behind-the-scenes confrontations. One thing's for sure, fans will be watching every move, every public statement, and every cameo invitation that Ryan Reynolds extends. So, maybe Robert Downey Jr.'s rejection was just a scheduling conflict, or maybe he had a front-row seat to gossip that raised every red flag in the book. That's the lingering question fueling late-night speculation, and it might stay unanswered until someone breaks their silence for good. For now, the entire Marvel fandom is left with an unsettling possibility. If Iron Man himself isn't willing to stand alongside Deadpool, maybe there's a reason we should all keep our eyes open. Will Ryan Reynolds come clean about the swirling accusations and put these rumors to rest? Or is it only a matter of time before more Hollywood heavy hitters follow RDJ's lead and step away from the murk with a mouth? Only time will reveal the answer, and in a town like Tinseltown, the truth always finds a way to the surface.